Hello everyone, this is Sam with Terminal Magic, and today I'm doing a mock draft using the draft the above person's cube thread on MTG Salvation forums. Last person to post was Humpty Dumpty at 3:24 in the morning. It's way past your bedtime, Humpty Dumpty. But yeah, I'm gonna go do this right now. Already logged in, which is great. Humpty's cube, it's a powered cube. Perfect. Hopefully make a sick deck. And let's just do it. Draft it up. Okay, so what do we have here? A lot of good green cards. Tournament Winners, Fauna Shaman, Vorpede, Thragtusk, Concentrated Sphinx is awesome. That's okay. These are interesting black cards. But I think I'm going to take Grim Monolith here. Fast mana is always a really good idea in a powered cube. There are a lot more powerful things you can do on turn 2 when you have 5 mana than if you had 2, so I think it's a pretty easy pick here. Happily take a Grim Monolith. Follow that up with another amazing card in Coalition Relic. So I could just abandon it completely and go into Sulfuric Vortex, wheel something like Greater Gargadon, Jackal Pup, Boros Charm, a bunch of really good cards I could get for that. And I haven't really made an aggressive deck on screen. If I was playing in real life and I wasn't recording it and I had no intention of writing about the deck, I'd probably just take Coalition Relic here and call it a day. But because I haven't really drafted an aggressive deck on camera or on the screen or whatever you want to call it yet, I think I'm going to go with Sulfuric Vortex. Hopefully get back either Jackal Pup or Greater Gargadon. I mean, this seems wrong. This doesn't seem correct, but I've drafted like the big mana deck so many times. It'll probably be painful to go through and be like, oh my god, look what I could get. But fuck it. Let's just go for it. See what happens. Yeah, like this pack, what am I taking? Like a Noble Hierarch, I'm making the same deck again that I've made a million times. I'm taking Sphere Vortex. No, not Sphere Vortex, Sour Temptation. Instead, I'm going to be taking a Figure of Destiny. It's an awesome one-drop. Let's make this screen a little smaller. Okay. It's an awesome one-drop. I think I'll be able to wheel to kill the Marauders, if not land tax or maybe one of these black cards, but it lets me go red-white, which I think is really strong. If not, mono-red is still really good here. And even it's fine if it's a 2-2 that eventually becomes a 4-4 instead of, the higher chance of becoming the 8-8 flyer. But Figure Destiny is incredible. I'm going to take it. In this pack, I like Plateau, Spike Jester maybe, Goblin Patrol. I'm going to pass the Goblin Patrol even though the one drops are more important because I think having the Plateau is way stronger than having the Goblin Patrol and being able to play potentially a 3-color aggressive deck if I get enough fixing for it, but at worst make the 2-colored aggressive deck more of a possibility and be able to run 16 lands without much of an issue. And I'll probably get Goblin Patrol back. It's not a super high pick. It's one of the worst one-drops you could have. So, Control Magic's really good. Avalanche Riders is okay, as is Pillage. I'd rather be taking the cheaper cards though, the cheaper red cards. Inkwell is kind of awesome. I think it's worth sticking to the plan a little bit longer. I don't think abandoning 3 of my picks for Control Magic's worth it yet. So it's between either Avalanche Riders, Blood Crypt, or Pillage. And I don't really need... I'm going to get a 4-drop in red that I'll be able to play. So I'm okay with passing the Avalanche Riders. And Pillage is good, but I can get that effect on a multitude of different cards as well. Whereas I might go into like a red-black aggressive build, so I'm going to take the Blood Crypt here and keep my aggressive deck open. And now there's like nothing here that I really want. Him is good, but if I'm playing like all red 1-drops and I have like a random him, it's not as strong, especially if I don't have all the fixing. So I think I might take like a Godless Shrine and hmm. Do I want to do that? Having three duels in an aggressive deck seems pretty good. And like either splash for white or splash for black. I do like it more than him. Because him could be unplayable in this deck. If I was the ramp deck, I don't know how happy I'd be with this pack either. I'd probably just take Indrik and be okay with it, or maybe take Cloud Goat. I don't think those are reasons to go back into that deck for me right now. And if I took that, like, the Control Magic, I'm pretty much getting nothing here in this pack. So I'm okay with the Godless Shrine. Alright, so now this is good. This is back on track. Either the Firebolt or the Hellspark. Curd Brock, Nakatl, different aggressive deck we're looking at right now. This is more of like a Kalia aggro type of thing, which I like. I like all the really cheap creatures that white and black, and also like all the really top-notch removal white and black have too. Masticore is okay, but not really what I'm looking for. Goblin, Rune Blaster, I could wheel. So I think I would rather the Hellspark does so much damage. It's pretty much like 6 damage on stick that can like randomly trade for creatures. But is it better than Firebolt? I think it's better than Firebolt. I'd rather have like okay, so Searing Blaze versus Manic Vandal. I think Manic Vandal's pretty good. I think Searing Blaze won't be as good if we do end up playing all these different colors, but it's way better if we are playing mono red. I haven't really chosen a second color yet because for all intents and purposes, Figure is a mono red card. It's a red card on its own. So I think I'm gonna take. I think I'd rather the Manic Vandal. That card's been really good in my mono red decks. I mean, it's 2 power and it costs 3 creature, but it allows me to not play something like a Disenchant in my main deck if I have to. It's pretty sweet. There are a lot of random artifacts too, especially in a powered cube that you want to deal with. Like if I get a Mox my own, being able to go turn 2 land Mox, destroy their Mox can be pretty strong, or destroy their Signet. Okay, so this is where I have to make a pretty conscious decision whether I'm going white or black. This is my opening pack. I don't think I had any like red cards in it, if I remember correctly. So the next pack should have like the Jackal Pup with the Greater Gargadon. What do I like more, white or black? I have pretty much the exact same fixing. I guess I have another white card. But there is a hymn in this pack somewhere. And like the white could just be used as like Figure Destiny splash for like random journeys and O-rings and whatnot. Red black's also pretty strong too. Though they're also both pretty strong. I think I'd rather this is tough. I'm gonna go red black. I mean, Elite Vanguard could be better, but also Vampire Lacerator gets through all like the random 1/1s in like different colors. And Jackal Pup came back, which is good. What I want. And yeah, look, I have like a Snuff Out, which is pretty perfect. I mean, Slayer Stronghold is super strong. I like it a lot, especially in this type of deck. But if I don't know how much, I think I'd rather have like the free removal spell than Snuff Out. Goblin Patrol, perfect. Pillager Avalanche Riders. This isn't really like an issue of like having bots because sometimes you really are the only deck on the table that wants these cards. I'd rather pillage. I already have like destroy artifact ability, but I feel like I'm gonna get another 4-drop that I'd rather play over an Avalanche Riders. So Avalanche Riders can be really good though. Whereas pillage is kind of like wishy-washy. I also don't have a 4-drop. It's not a guarantee I'm gonna get a 4-drop either. I have 3 1-drops, 4 1-drops, 2-drop, a 3-drop. 2 3-drops. I think I'm gonna take the pillage. I like Avalanche Riders, but it's a cheaper card. Does that really make a difference though? Avalanche Rider can get him for so much damage, and like by that point, I'm probably not needing to cast like a million different cards. I'll take Avalanche Rider. I think it's a strong card overall. Cloud Go, sure. Goblin Rune Blaster, probably won't play it, but I could. Can't get rid of the cards I don't want to play. So there's Recurring Nightmare, but I'm not really looking at it. Whatever. I'm looking at Fire Slinger, Blood Gas, 2 points, Mock Fanatic, Searing Spear, and Chain Lightning. I'm going to take Chain Lightning. 3 damage for 1 is really strong. The cheaper you can get, the better. I mean, it's better than Searing Spear, even though Searing Spear instant speed. Obviously not better than Lightning Bolt, but having 3 damage for 1 is just so key. It allows you to do a lot in your turn with your mana, especially if you hit him in the face with it. And three's a good amount. Hoping to wheel either the Fire Slinger, I don't know if I really want that, and the Searing Spear. I wish this was kind of real, because I'd like to play with the Fire Slinger a little bit, but that's okay. But yeah, Chain Lightning's really good. Happily take it. Hopefully the sound's recording, is it? Okay, good. It'd be awful if it wasn't. Mock Sapphire, awesome. Good in the aggressive decks because, you know, they're playing your 2 drops or your 3 drops is pretty early is good. It's not as good in the aggressive decks because a lot of the time you're going to have like a pretty heavy color commitments all the way through your curve. So even off-color mocks, it's like not super incredible. But, I mean, Moxen are just Moxen. Like, as much as I say it's not incredible, it's still like the most amazing thing in the world. A lot of cards I want to wheel back out of this pack. Stoneforge, just because if I get like a Batterskull or a Jitty, it's really sick and I'll be able to play it off the 2 duels and maybe a fetch I'll get, like this one perhaps. But if not, there's still a Fire Blast and a Student Warfare, which I'll play both of them. But you take the Mox every time. Nothing here that's incredible. Red Cap's okay, but I'm looking at either Carnage, Dark Confident, which probably would be the pick, or Reckless Charge. I'm not the biggest fan of Reckless Charge. I think it's pretty awful. I'd rather just have like a piece of burn. I mean, there are games that it can be absolutely incredible when you get to that extra 3 damage, because sometimes it can be 6 damage, but sometimes they just chump block your guy regardless, because all the creatures in these red X aggressive decks are super weak on the back end, and they just die to everything. It doesn't give it tramples, and none of these creatures naturally have trample, unless you're going red-green. So it can be really awful sometimes, especially at sorcery speed. If it was instant speed, it'd be a whole different story. But like just broadcasting block this creature is just kind of sucky sometimes. Sometimes it's awesome, but a lot of times it's a big pile of shit. So I'm gonna take Dark Confident. Having card draw on these types of decks is really important because it's something it's often lacking. Having a Snuff Out and a Avalanche Riders kind of sucks, but it's not a guarantee we'll be playing both of them. So and everything else is pretty cheap. I'm not gonna play the Cloud Ghost, so ignore that. Hopefully they'll get back Carnage, and I'll be happy with the other one. Ooh, Bitter Blossom is really good in the black aggressive decks, because it just gives you like a stream of attackers that will eventually get in there for the cost of a life. Hopefully I'll get back the other Searing Spear, so I'm not going to take this Incinerate, and Skin Render's too expensive. A lot of good awesome green ramp cards. It's probably just trying to punish me right now for not doing it, but that's okay. Mystical Tutor's okay too. Yeah, this is a pretty okay pack with like a bunch of okay cards, like good cards, but not incredible. But I think Bitter Blossom is super strong and solidifying that I want to be playing red-black. I'll value fetches, Badlands, you know, whatever, all that kind of stuff. Then you get something like a Mother Runes, which is just a kick in the pants, but I'd be happy with Char. Char does a lot of damage, gets in there for a good amount. I might not even be playing any white at all, so there's a chance I won't be playing the Godless Shrine on the Plateau, but I'll probably play the Godless Shrine, maybe? I don't know. We'll see. I like Char, though. I'm kind of lacking in the burn department. I've, like, taken creatures over burn a lot of the time already, so having one that does a lot for an expensive amount is still fine. Scrubland, Ash Zealot, go for the throat, opposing Sovereign. I'm just gonna take the scrubland, honestly, and like hopefully play, some white cards in the future. There's some really good ones I can get. Ashlet's cool, but my curve's pretty low already. And one, two, three, converted mana costs 2 cards. One, two, three, 4 1s. Snuff out's free. 5 1s actually. So yeah. And I'll get one of those like white or red cards back. Maybe even go for the throw too. So we got. I'm gonna take the Stormblood Berserker, and I'm gonna take that over Journey, Blood Scrivener, and Isamaru. Stormblood Berserker gets in for a lot of damage, and it's pretty important for this deck. And I have enough one-drop creatures already that I'll probably be attacking turn 2, if not turn 1, if I get a Goblin Guide by any chance. I like Blood Scrivener, but I don't know. I'd rather have like the consistent damage rather than like the often just a 2-1. Sometimes it's awesome, but most of the time it's just a 2-1. I'd be able to play Isamaru or Journey if either one of them came back, but I'll probably get something shitty like Ice Storm or Stormbind or something like that. Dark Confidant. I mean, not Dark Confidant. Dark Ritual, Duress, Lightning Helix, which is most likely the pick. That's why I'm taking all these scrublands and plateaus and things like that, because Lightning Helix is a really strong card. It's burn, except with healing salve attached to it. It's a lightning bolt glued onto a healing salve, and it does a lot of damage. It wins you the race against like the mirror if you're facing it. Happily take it. Here, I don't like Lava Claw Reaches because it comes into play tapped. I don't think you can afford to play any lands that come to play tapped in these type of aggressive decks, because if your curve slows down at any point and you get like mucked up in your hand, you're just screwed. I'd rather be able to play. I'd rather play like just basic lands, honestly. Thankfully, I already have 4 non-basics, so any white, like a Arid Mesa would just be the sickest card. Give me um, any of my duels. But I think Fire Slinger is okay enough to take. It does, like, it's consistent 1 damage at the cost of 1 life yourself, but it's cheap. It's okay. It's not incredible. And Student. Ooh, there's a Diagraph Ghoul in here too. I think Fire Blast is just better than all the 1-drops. Student is not like super realistic to play, and Diagraph is, for all intents and purposes, just a 2/2 for 1. Whereas Fire Blast is just a sick card where you can sacrifice 2 mountains. And I feel like if I just prioritize like just taking low cheap creatures from here on out, because how many playable do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. And I'm not definitely going to be playing the Avalanche Riders either. So yeah, Fire Blast is just sick. It can just win you games out of nowhere, because it does come out of nowhere. It's sack 2 mountains, good game. And if I don't get too greedy with my mana base, having 2 mountains won't be too big of an issue. I'm pretty much base red, splashing for the white and the black. Reckless Charge, sure, whatever. Maybe I'll play it. Probably not. Same with this one. Probably won't play it, but it's pretty good in the aggressive decks. Teach Creature. I don't really want a Wrath, but the Wrath is better than Kusho against me, I think. Who's gonna play Starstorm? It's just better against me. Ashlet. Doom. Done. I'm gonna say Boom, but Doom came out, but that's okay. Cool, so I'm pretty happy with how this deck is looking so far. Magma Jet, Savannah Lines are both good, but Marsh Flats will get me anything. It's really good fixing. Oh, wait. I'm so stupid. There's a Skull Clamp in this pack. Disregard everything I just said. Hopefully I will... There's so many cards I can wheel in this pack, though, like the Battlefield Forge, the Magma Jet, the Marsh Flats, the Shadenport, the Savannah Lions. Balance is not really what I'm looking to do in this deck, just because I'm often going to have a lot of creatures that I want to be packing in, and if I get down to like even them out with my opponent, there's a better chance that the creatures that they have left will outclass the creatures that I have, if not be able to chump block and catch up eventually. But Skull Clamp is just crazy. It makes like my 2/2s pretty much unblockable, because they can't be giving me extra cards, because the extra cards are extra burn. Extra burn means a faster death. If not, I have a lot of like random 2/1s, like Goblin Patrols or Jackal Pups that just don't do it anymore, and I need to get like that extra 3 or 4 points in. I can find it with Skull Clamp. Skull Clamp's crazy. I had to get that Stoneforge back, which kind of sucks, but whatever. It's still a good enough card to be able to play. Bitter Blossom, I mean, it's just incredible. I almost took a Marsh Flats over it. What am I thinking? I wasn't thinking. Just craziness. Just pure insanity right there. I don't know what I was doing. Just packed complete mess. But Braids I could play, maybe. If I'm playing like a mirror that doesn't make a lot of tokens, or like a deck that's kind of so like a controlled type of deck. I don't know, but I don't think I'd play it. But odd. But Molten Tail, I should have taken you. I've made a huge mistake. I regret every decision I've made to this point in my life. Ooh, okay, so this is actually a tough pick. Because we have Path, which is awesome, and a reason to splash. The reason, not the reason, but a good reason to splash for white. Because it deals with a lot of different creatures while giving your opponent, like, not too big of a benefit. Pretty big, but, like, I don't know, I like it better than swords in these decks, honestly. But we also have Wheel of Fortune, which is super strong. Nighthawk, which is a good creature. But I'd rather not be playing any non-red double cards at this point. So that's why I'm probably going to play Braids too. Faithless Looting, awesome draw card. Pitch the dead lands at the end of games for turn. But I think I'm going to go with Path to Exile. It's just a pretty solid piece of removal. And it's not too difficult for me to cast. So I'm pretty happy with that. I like having mostly like burn for my removal in the red aggressive decks, but sometimes you need to have like that beat down card. Bone Splitter, is that good here? How many creatures do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-ish, 8-ish, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 creatures I don't want to play. I think I'd rather Bone Splitter. Oh, and I have a Bitter Blossom. Bone Splitter's just way better than a random 2/1 that does the same thing as Manic Vandal. Ooh, okay, so Hero's really good. Terminate's pretty good. Sacred Foundry's really good. I think I like Hero more than I like Avalanche Riders. But do I like it more than I like another piece of fixing? I can keep this deck really cheap, and I'm pretty sure I already have enough playables that having all this extra fixing could be good. And having an Avalanche Rider as my 4-drop is fine on its own. It's not incredible, but it's not the worst by any means. And also make playing Path and Lightning Helix a lot easier too. I think I'm just gonna take the Sacred Foundry. Hero's awesome, but I could potentially get another 4-drop that'd be better. I could get like a Koth or Hellrider in this pack, or just get more cheap creatures to make my curve even lower and have awesome Sacred Foundry. Play like random like white 1-drops that I could wheel or just open up in packs. Like a Mother Runes. No, but I take Badlands here? How many pieces of burn do I have? I have Fire Blast, Helix, Char, Chain Lightning. 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess Reckless Charge kind of counts. I might wheel one of the 2 pieces of burn. Or even the Chainers here. I'd rather have the Badlands. Just having such incredible fixing in your aggro decks is just so strong. Because like being able to keep like any hand that you open up with just like 1 land. So there'll be hands where you only have 1 land and you have to keep it because you can cast like a bunch of the cards in your hand, but not all of them. But then if you don't draw like the off-color card, I just think it's really strong. Especially since I already have a lot of pieces, and I know I want to be playing the white and black cards that I have. And it's a swamp for Snuff Out, which is relevant. Keldon Champions, I like either Sacromancy or Corehouse Chainwalker better. I think I'm gonna go with Corehouse Chainwalker because it's a red card, and I've been impressed with this card when I've been playing with it. 3-2 on turn 2 is pretty strong. I like Sacramency, but it's just a 2-2 for 1, which is great. Maybe it's something I need. I'm okay with having a Corehouse Chainwalker. I like that card. I've been pretty impressed with it. And sticking to like mostly red cards is better, I feel, for the deck. So we Burst Lightning, which is pretty good. Play with Geopede, which is okay. Hearth Kami, it's alright. And Keldon Vandals. Do I need another piece of Artifact Destruction? Keldon Vandals can be really good. So can Play with Geopede. Same reason like Corehouse Chainwalker is really good. But I mean, so is Burst Lightning. Bunch of sick cards. How many creatures do I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-ish, 8-ish, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 creatures. And I have like 4 pieces of burn. Burst Lightning's alright. I'm not going to get any of these cards back in the wheel, so this is a pretty important decision right here. 1, 2, how many 2 drops do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1 drops. I've always really liked Plated Geopede. It gets in for a lot of damage. And if I get a fetch in one of these last picks, it would be really, really strong. Do I like it better than Burst Lightning, though? I think I do. I think I like it better than Burst Lightning. Because it's the creature that wants to attack through with, like, Skull Clamp. Or, I mean, Bone Splitter or Skull... It's really good with Bone Splitter, actually. So I'll take that. Here, Battlefield Forge or Savannah Alliance? Battlefield Forge. More fixing. I think I have enough playables. Nothing here, so I'll take away the Detention Sphere, which kind of wrecks me. Yeah, this card wrecks me more than I think Mana War does, even though it goes in less decks. Faithless Looting could be good. I might play it. Torch Fiend, I'll definitely play. I like it better than everything else in the pack, and it's a creature. Cost 2 and has 2 power. Terminate. I'll take it on the sideboard in case I want it. I like it better than Greatborn Muse. Flames, awesome. Last pick. And come on, something good. Consume Dangerous. Not exactly what I'm looking for, but it's still okay. So, time to make the deck. Let's wait for this to load into it. So we figure. My computer's going kind of slow, so you gotta excuse me. You always play Goblin Control in the red aggressive decks. I'll probably play Reckless Charge. I'll play Skull Clamp. So a lot of cards that cost 1, 10 total, which is pretty awesome. This deck's gonna be super, super fast. I might not even play a 4-drop. I might just play all 1, 2s, and 3s. Just hopefully outgas them. Sell it. Fire Slayer. Lightning Helix. Stoneblood Berserker. Bitter Blossom. Dark Confident. Spark Elemental. Yeah, this deck looks like it's gonna be really good. I wish this was a real draft. Oh damn, this deck I think would win a lot of games. Yeah, I could play 24. Probably. And 16 lands. I could probably get away with like 15 lands, but I think having 16 is fine with what cards I'm trying to play, along with the fact that I have like an early path, like an early random lacerator, but it's mostly mono red for all intents and purposes. And I have a bunch of good cards. Oh, and I have a snuff out too. Well, Snuff Out's free. This could be. This. I think this deck can get away with playing 15 lands. I'd like to hear any thoughts on whether I can get away with 15 lands in this deck or not. Because for all intents and purposes, Snuff Out is free. But if I don't have a swamp, then my mana base is probably pretty bad at that point anyway. So I have Blood Crypt, I have Gaulish Shrine, and I have a Scrubland and a Badland. So I have a bunch of non-basic swamps. I have room for 7 more lands. Which would give me to 15 lands total, which is A-okay by me. For one, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 black sources for 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna put another swamp in there. And I'm gonna get I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 white sources for 1, 2, 3. I think 5 for 3 is, plenty. And 7 mountains. Is it worth just running 8 mountains and 1 less swamp because I do have Fire Blast? Okay, so I'm gonna have to cut a card. What do I want to cut here? Maybe the Snuff Out. Maybe just side in the Snuff Out. And that way I can just play an extra mountain. Because I do have a bunch of removal in the burn and path and if I am facing this kind of black deck, it's not the best to have. Whereas everything else I have, like the Char, the Flames, Lightning Helix, Chain Lightning, Path to Exile. I think playing 7 mountains then is good. That means how many cards do I have? I have 5. This is stacked of 1 through 5. 10. So that's 25. Set land. Yeah, I like this deck a lot. So okay. Woo. So yeah, that's it. Let me know in the comments if you made any different picks while drafting or any picks while making the deck. We're just gonna see if like you guys think any of these cards up here are good enough to be playing it against over any of these guys down here. And yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. Saving that.